All right, so the Fresno State men's basketball team only played one game this week, and that was at Air Force. That was a 71-49 victory over the 3-17 Falcons. And this is a game the Bulldogs should have won. I briefly mentioned the Falcon record. They were 3-17, and they did win by a good margin at the end. And I saw some posts online about all the, look, I'm not going to go jumping down, scream hooray, and give you congratulations for doing what you should do. All right? The Falcons were terrible. Winless in Mountain West this year. And if you want to be a team that's having momentum going in the pack, you cannot lose at home, on the road, or at home or anywhere, to the Air Force Falcons. You just can't. All right? That would have just, in my mind, ruined all the momentum Wahlberg had built. Whatever he had built this year, they are better, yes, but they're nothing to write home about yet. You're not going to puff out your chest about the basketball team as a whole. They're better than the bottom feeders, the San Jose States, the Air Forces, and so forth, but we've seen how they look against the New Mexico, San Diego State, Utah State, Grand Canyon, and so on. So, nothing to write home about yet. Maybe they'll develop into that. They go to Utah State again in a couple of weeks, but got a chance to pull off upset there. But for now, let me just recap this game. It took a 27-7 stretch before the Bulldogs could really pull away from the Falcons. David Douglas was the guy who really just he was from the 3-point line, he was 5 of 8, excuse me. I believe he led the team. I don't have the exact stats in front of me. Where is his at? Well, I do have the Gory. He's only scored 2 points to the game, 1 of 5. But you know what? He can have an off day after what he did this past few weeks. He was averaging like 31 points, 13 games. So, if Goy wants to have an off game against Air Force, let him. The 3-point was better this game. Douglas, as I mentioned earlier, was 5 for 8, hybrid, 8. Collins was 1-1 from the deep. He was suspended at the start of both halves. I'm not sure what he did, but that dude is a major headache. He's not as bad as Draymond Green, but you can definitely tell that I don't think he's back next year for sure, no matter what. The Bulldogs overall proved to 10-11 on the season, 4-6 in Mountain West play. They're currently 8th in the Mountain West standings, midpoint of the game. So the half a game back on Boise State and 1 full game back against UNLV. This is a closer game than it should have been. The score is only 44-39 at halftime. Bulldog lead would have been a lot less if Ubano, freshman from Mexico, I think his name was, closed with a deep free at the end. So it's not for that. It would have been a 41-39 halftime lead. That's just not discouraged. That's just not good enough, right? They played a rotten first half. They missed numerous free throws again. We'll see. They've got 2 games the upcoming week at UNLV this Tuesday, and then they go play at Nevada on Saturday. Those are 2 winnable games. You should have beaten those 2 teams the first time you played them this year. All right. If you can get a sweep, you really are building momentum for yourself, and you are showing you beat incredible teams so far this year. All right. Now, is UNLV is right back where the Bulldogs are at 10-11, 5-5, as I mentioned earlier. So, if you want to do anything, you got to beat UNLV at home this Tuesday in Fresno. Period. End of story. Got to happen. And we'll see how they do. The free throwing has to get better, but it is what it is at this point. It's cost them at least 1 game. And it just is what it is at this point in my mind. You're not going to be able to change it. The turnovers are just maddening. I don't understand how you can still have so many of them at this point in the year. You're at the halfway point in conference play. But, again, this team is what it is. They're around 500. They've got, 10 wins, as I mentioned earlier. They had 6 wins last year, so they've got more than enough chances to double it up. I mean, it's not a great year by any stretch. Imagine, let's say you finished, I don't know, 14, 19. That's still a losing year, but you doubled over the win total last year. So, I mean, if I'm Garrett Classy, I'm watching this program right now, and it'd be a tough call right now for sure. I don't think Vance has really done anything to stay. He certainly made the program look better. And in this age of NIL and money, supposedly he's got lots of money involved. He's paid $1 million out of his pocket to the NIL basketball program already this year. So, I mean, you have to consider that all as a factor. You really do. And that's a shame. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And that's a different topic. But, yeah, Bulldogs got the win. Good for them. They did their jobs. But that's not a congratulatory, you're on top of the world type of thing. All right, baseball season is starting very quickly next week, in fact. And I just want to make it, being this announcement, a Bulldog legend, and I do use that word in all capital letters, and Tom Goodwin has been announced to the title of Player Development in the program. He was an All-American at Fresno State, played 14 years in Major Leagues, 14 years after as a coach with a World Series win with the Red Sox in 2018. He is just one of 12 former Bulldogs and coaches to have their players retired. Played for the Bulldogs from 87 to 89 before I was born. He was part of the 1988 team that won 30-some games in a row, reached number one in the nation, and reached the 1988 College World Series. He led the nation with 61 stolen bases and has a school record 164 career stolen bases. Remains in the program's top 10 for batting average, 350 at bats, 821, runs 207, hits 287, and triples of 13. So he was also on a Summer Olympics gold medal winner for the United States baseball team in 1988. He was a first-round draft pick. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This dude is just, you cannot get more prestigious as an athlete than him. All right, and it's really exciting to see him come home. All right, this is a dude who was a coach not just for the Red Sox. He was also the Mets' first base coach in 2011. He also spent the last 2 years as the first base coach for the Braves. So it's just another tip in the cap for Overland and his staff to bring home such a legend. And I keep saying it, with his MLB connections, that's got to help with recruiting. If you can help develop your players into that kind of a play, what Goodwin was, I mean, you're not going to get any better anywhere in the world. And this is something that First League Baseball has, NIL cannot, and that is just the connection the program has with each other. I mean, just this past at the alumni game, Murph Gray came back for that. He couldn't. Pirates didn't let him play, but he was still involved, taking fielding and so forth. And Aaron Judge's family has been at ball games. I mean, it's a great sport. It's a great program to follow. It's the pride and joy, in my opinion, and it's coming right up. And it's just never feather in the cap for the staff from Overland. Can't wait for the season to start. Less than 2 weeks now. So if you're a Bulldog fan, check them out. They've won 2 straight conference tournament games. Gone to the NSAs 2 straight years in a row. Hopefully they can finish it off. This coming, make it a free-peat like Boise did in football on your way out. But getting started really quickly. Going to host Utah to start the year. Talk about that when it happens. Try and get some video of that from the game. At least one game that I can go to this weekend. But it's coming up very quickly. Softball starts up this week. So, yeah, if you're not a basketball fan or you're tired of them, the ball sports can offer you some relief. All right? But it's a good week overall. Talk more about the transfer portal and Freeman later this week when it's all settled down. But for now, go Dogs.